Welcome to Hitting the Bullseye, the podcast dedicated to exploring every facet of Lyme disease. In today's podcast episode, we're going to be exploring how exactly your body can adapt to Lyme disease. I'm joined again by Doctor of Public Health Alexa, Dr. Stephanie, and second survivor Kevin. Now I wanted to start with you, Kevin. You contracted Lyme disease quite often over the past few years, but I know you've had a recent experience that has been unlike anything you've ever had before. Could you please explain what happened?
Yeah, of course. I love hiking and being outdoors, so you can probably guess what I was doing this past weekend.
Let me guess, were you hiking?
Why, of course. And as it goes, when I got back, I brought along a little friend. So I'm like, here we go again. I set up an appointment to see my general practitioner for Monday, and I started developing some of the common symptoms like a rash, fever, chills, and joint aches. But when Monday rolled around, I was feeling normal, like I had recovered already in 2 days. Isn't that kind of strange?
That is quite odd. You know, people often mistakenly associate the symptoms and damage done to our bodies from having Lyme disease with the bacteria itself, and while the bacteria is what initiates this process, it's actually our own immune system that does a lot of the actual damage trying to fight off the bacteria. Our own cells often get hit in the crossfire. It doesn't seem like that is what's happening here, though.
Indeed, it does not. There was a recent paper that came out investigating this early, almost symptomless recovery of Lyme disease in patients. Researchers from Tufts University and Harvard University explored what they call innate immune memory.
Oh, is that like your body remembering the bacteria from previous infections and developing antibodies?
Very close. It's a similar concept, but rather than boosting your immune system, innate immune memory refers to the mechanism to suppress your immune system.
How interesting. Could you explain further?
Of course, this process is like developing a tolerance to the bacterium. Like in instances of substance abuse, it will often take more substance to elicit a response. In this case, you will likely need a higher infection dose to see the onset of symptoms. In this research, they discovered that our body is creating a protein called ACOD1, which in high numbers in your body has shown to repress your inflammatory response.
Is it not concerning that our immune system, which is supposed to protect us from pathogens like bacteria, is developing mechanisms to not be detected?
We don't commonly associate many positives to the human relationship with bacteria, but in this case, the bacterium is helping us. As it was stated earlier, most of the damage is caused by the activation of the immune system, so this mechanism is beneficial for the host in this situation. Now, it's not all without risk. You are still infected with the bacteria, so you should still maybe go get checked out, Kevin.
That's good to know. Thanks.
By better understanding this innate immune memory system, scientists believe it can shed light on a potential therapeutic targets, like the ACOD1 protein, to reduce adverse effects in patients who don't have this suppressed immune system.
Thank you all so much for being here. Kevin, Dr. Stephanie, Dr. Alexa. It was so interesting hearing about this upcoming research into the mechanisms of Lyme disease. To our listeners, we hope this conversation gave you some insight into the many ways our body adapts to Lyme disease. Stay tuned to Hitting the Bullseye for more stories of innovation that could transform the way we think about medicine. Thanks for listening.